Peace and love, good people. Um, Hope everybody is doing well. Uh, Let me check to make sure everything's okay. As always, hopefully, I'm all good and not talking to myself. Put a 9 in the chat. Y'all know what time it is. Let me see a 9 in the chat if anyone is in the building. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if all is intelligible and coherent. If you could hear me on your end, that would be wonderful. Let me know your girls in business. Let me know that our audio is okay. And that you guys are in the building and that everything is well. Let me see. Let me go to this window where I could see my chat. Hold on. Okay, we got some people. Yes, we do. Gee, we got some family up in here. Hold up. Hold up. Let me scroll back over here. Edward Nelson, the first one to even pop in the room and leave a comment. That's peace and love, Sugar Free. Peace and love to you, Edward Nelson. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my God, the richest. The richest is in the building. Salute, King. Up, hold on. I got to take care of you, King. There are some people that I forgot to wrench up last time. Please forgive me, guys. You guys know I'm new to this. So, I get to talking. I forget to take care of my people. Salute to the King Drummond for life in the building. Got to take care of you too as well, King. You should be good. The King Demo, my hitter, my gunner Demo is in the building. Thank you so much, King, for joining. We got PG in the building. We got Rodney James. I got to take care of you as well, King. Hold on. Let me take care of my people, y'all. Salute to the great Mike in the building. What's up, Mike? Hope you're doing well. The fool ass Earthman is in the building, giving me a wonderful number 9. That is my number. That is the number of Mars. You guys know how I'm stepping, okay? Kana Loco is in the building. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. Lovely to see you. Oh my goodness, we got my beautiful sister, Chiquila Fields. Hey, lovely sister. How you doing? Happy Sunday, beautiful people. I'm glad that you guys can hear me, that the audio is good. I'm still fresh to this stuff, so I like to make sure that, my settings are okay. But you guys are in the building. I see the 9s in the chat, so we are good to go. Hey, Savage 410, how you doing, King? I feel like I haven't seen you in a little bit, right? Nice to see you. Blessed Sunday. The King Roz in the building. Yes, my people are showing up. Oh my goodness, you got a smile on your girl's face, y'all. A smile is on my face. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. Hey, Forever. That's my dude. That's my guy, Forever. Salute to you, King. Yeah, you guys. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope that you guys have had a restful weekend up until this point before, we head into a fresh week. We are in officially the last, pretty much week of January before we head into a new month, which means hopefully some new energy, some new intention set on our end, some new opportunities to walk into, new thoughts, letting go of anything old and stale. I always like to speak that type of positivity on myself. And if it's good enough for me, I feel it's good enough to share with everyone else. So I'm hoping the same for you guys. Blessed week up ahead for you and a blessed month to come. Hope everybody is well. So let's get into some boxing talk, yeah? Now, I feel like things are shaking up. I think that things have been slow to heat a little bit, but as we spoke about the last few weeks in our meetings, new life, new energy is coming up. And I think that this is a nice way to continue from last week's discussion that we had about new life being brought into boxing. And I think that the new life is starting to shake things up. Hence why I wanted to title this The Shake-Up Being Underway, because it's because of the entrance of new energy, new potential, new matchups, new grudges. You know what I'm saying? New fire, new heat in the conversation. Some reemergence of old heat, old grudges, old tensions are surfacing. So I think all of this is lending and leading to a shake up in ways that we probably can't even foresee at this particular juncture, because we are just now, into the new year, right? Only a month removed pretty much from the new year. Hold on. I see my people. Jay. Hey, Jay the man. I got to take care of Jay the man. Hold on, King. Let me take care of you. I want to say your name correctly, King, but every time I see it, I say it how I see it. Is it Murarib? Salam? Please forgive me if I destroyed and butchered that name, but salute to you, beautiful kids. A beautiful name. And I'm sure if I didn't say it right, however you say it, it's going to be beautiful. I love the spelling of it. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. Hey, NBA D Nice. You know I got to hook NBA up. Come on now. Salute to all the kings and the sisters in the building. Yeah, so get comfortable, y'all. Come on in. Come on in the room. Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot that is underway, and I don't know. I feel like we're in for some interesting stuff. Firstly, I didn't even have an intention to speak about this particular point, but did y'all see the Andy Cruz fight last night? Now that it comes to mind, y'all, I had a thought, and please forgive me if this is like way, left for some people, but looking at Andy Cruz last night, I couldn't help but feel like boxing is in great hands. And when I say that, I'm saying I think Andy Cruz can replace some of the people that we've held at 135 at a particular standard. I think that he can usurp their spot, is what I'm saying. And I know that he's only just now getting solidified. I think this is his fourth or fifth, victory, pro fight. I know that he is, can be considered inexperienced, of course, on that level. But obviously the man is a beautiful talent, and he's full of absolute potential. And I can't wait to see what he brings to the table, because his performance last night was riveting. It was absolutely entertaining. It was tit for tat. It was highly competitive, but he managed to basically dominate that man and snatch the W from right up under that man's nose. And that dude that he was facing, I forget his name. I should have wrote it down. But like I said, I really have intentions to go in on the fight card last night, because real talk, I didn't watch it. I only went back and watched the replay of the Cruz fight. I didn't touch the Pacheco fight. I didn't really go into all of that, but I did want to mention that with y'all, because I don't know. I was absolutely impressed with Andy's performance. I thought it was wonderful, and I could not help but think, after watching him in the ring look so stunning, I'm like, damn, if all this fails and Tank Davis, retires the way he said that he would, if he runs off into the sunset at the end of the year or early next year, whenever that intention is to be had, I think that Andy Cruz could definitely take up that mantle, as far as the feet, as far as the, power punching ability, the entertaining fights, the style is what I'm talking about. He could easily assume that position. I couldn't help but think that. It just came to my mind, and it was just random. I'm just ooh, look at him. He looks so good. I can't wait to see him, step up his level of competition and, get, of course, to the likes of Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson and Tank, hopefully before he retires. I was absolutely whoa. You know what I'm saying? He's impressed me for quite a bit of time, but last night I was just yes. I just felt like a surge of energy that was okay, if all this fails and let's say, Tank Davis is out of here, we got somebody that can fulfill that spot stylistically and as far as entertainment value and all of that, because he's stepping, okay, and he's standing on absolute business, and he's looking beautiful doing so. Shout out to Andy Cruz. I love that performance last night. I can't wait to see more from him. And what was crazy is that even though he's 4-0 or 5-0 or something like that now, as of last night, that guy was something like 20 fights, at least 20 fights in, and he beat that man. Highly impressive. And I think a lot of people, hopefully from this juncture onward, will begin to put more and more respect on Cruz's name. Now, speaking of which, I'm not sure if you guys saw after that fight Did y'all see the shade that Keyshawn threw at Cruz when he came to shake the hands of whatever after he got out of the ring and he went to the, to the audience and he started shaking his people's hands, and then Shakur was there and Cruz was there. Did y'all see, not Cruz, Shakur was there and Keyshawn was there. Did y'all see how Keyshawn kind of smited the opportunity to shake his hand when he extended his hand? He gave him some old half-ass, delayed dap of a half of a dap. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do, but it was definitely salty. It was definitely salty. And Keyshawn is just standing there looking because, of course, he knows what time it is on Keyshawn's end. And then after Keyshawn does that, he shakes Cruz's hand and dap him up a little bit. I'm like, what's up? You mad? You still salty because he beat you? Okay? Because he's a damn two-time Olympian? You mad? How shady was that, y'all? I was like, okay, active grudge going on. I can't wait until they get it popping because that's going to be spectacular. Real talk. Another thing that I was engaging with last night, looking at the Cruz fight, was like, I don't know if Keyshawn could beat him. Now, you know how they say it's a different game in the amateurs than it is for the pros, but they are not far removed from their amateur bout. Okay? They are not far removed from that amateur bout. If he couldn't do it then, I don't know. I just feel like Cruz has his number. And that was a part of the reason why you saw the display that you saw last night from Keyshawn, because he's still salty. He's sitting in the audience watching this man put on a phenomenal performance. And he's, of course, thinking that one day they're going to eventually meet. And he's probably like, damn, this is probably the one motherfucker I can't beat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Interesting stuff is at hand. But let me take a quick look at my chat. See, hey, y'all. Peace to everybody who came in. Oh, it's pronounced Muharib. Oh, that's beautiful. Muharib Salam. Beautiful name. Salute to you, King. Muharib. Okay, I like that. Lovely name, and I'm glad that I could say it correctly now. Salute, Coach Hudson. How you doing, Coach? Coach says Andy Cruz most definitely can. Gold medalist, Olympian, beat up Keyshawn several times. Okay, not once. Okay, but several times, King Coach. Okay, the Coach Hudson, absolutely. He absolutely has his card, and I think Keyshawn knows that. Oh, Rich says you ain't missing nothing. Yeah, I completely bypassed the card last night. I didn't even, real talk, remember it was on until way later. I'm scrolling down Twitter, and then I'm seeing the clips being posted and stuff like that, and that's kind of how I kept up with it, and then I went back to watch the fight. The great Mike says, I agree, Queen. And also, I appreciate Ernesto Mercado's attitude. Oh my God, that's another thing I was just getting into, Great Mike. Did y'all see how Ernesto Mercado was straight up shredding Shakur Stevenson before he even got out the ring? The announcer's like, all right, wonderful performance. Whose head do you want? You know what I'm saying? Whose head are you looking for? And Ernesto turned and he said, I want that man right there in a blue suit. He called them all types of pussies. He called them all types of whacks. You ain't nothing. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to beat you up. And Shakur is in the audience. Of course, he gets up out of his seat. You know what I mean? And, starts talking his talk and saying whatever he wants back. But damn, that energy was intense. I was like, okay, Ernesto. I never checked for Ernesto Mercado before, real talk. I'm going to keep it a buck, y'all. But that performance last night, from what I've seen very briefly, I was definitely impressed. I think he got him out of there in, what was that? The 4th round, I want to say. He got the dude up out of there. He looked good. And of course, all of that heat that he had on deck for, Shakur and Keyshawn was absolutely igniting for me. I was like, gee. And I think he was even getting at them at the press conference before the fight, which was hella intense. I love seeing that. I was like, okay, this is the type of energy that we need. We don't need anything stale and all delicate and, oh, you talk about me. You're not supposed to say this about me. I want that heat. I want that fire on deck. Okay. And Ernesto definitely showed up 10 toes, at every turn to let these people know, no, I'm not here to be friends. I'm coming for your head. You think you the shit and you're not. And I'm going to prove it to you. Once the opportunity comes, I'm going to check you and I'm going to prove it to you. I love seeing that type of heat on deck. Okay. Hey, Shade Girl. Nice to see you, sis. Hold on. Let me wrench you up. Yeah, you guys, there's some people I forgot to wrench up the last couple of streams, but you should be good to go now. Yeah, salute to my sister Shade Girl. Keyshawn and Cruz will be epic. Yes, Muharib. Yes. You got Davis. I like that. I like that. Listen, it's definitely an epic matchup. It's definitely something that I cannot wait to see. And it has to happen. It has to happen. I just hope that if Keyshawn, should he be successful against Baranchik the way that I am, hoping for him to, and how I would like for him to be successful against Baranchik, I'm hoping that after he collects that strap, he doesn't get on some diva shit and like try to bypass Cruz. Like, oh no, you still a little nigga type shit. I hope he doesn't try to play the diva game and try to like duck and evade him. Like, oh well, I got a belt, so I'm like higher than thou. I'm better than you. Hopefully that's not the case. Those two have to get it in. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, Cameron. Hey, beautiful sis. Nice to see you. Happy Sunday, Queen. Happy Sunday. Jay the Man says coleslaw will stay far away from you. See? Exactly. That's exactly my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because that little antic that he pulled when Cruz walked up on him to try to, salute him and dap him up. I ain't like that. That was so petty and that was so sassy, if I'm being honest. What? You don't even want to shake the man's hand? You there to watch him fight? You know what I mean? You there watching him fight, gawking from the damn audience. The least you could do is to shake the man's hand. If you don't want to have, tea and powwow with that man, okay, he extend the dap to you to salute you and show you respect. Do the same thing. I was super sassy and super catty on Keyshawn's part, but I was like, okay, well, I don't know. Seemed like he may have his number. And he may be a little bit tight about that. But yeah, that was interesting. Wanted to touch on that really briefly. Rich earlier said that I didn't miss anything. How was that main card? I might have to go back and maybe take a gander at it, but I have not. I haven't caught that one. But the Cruz fight was definitely interesting for me. Now, let me get into a little bit of a roundup of what I have been gauging, and it's going to be varying topics, okay? And I'm going to try to be as brief as I can, as concise as I can, okay? Because it is a lot of stuff to cover, and actually I may not even get to divulge it all with you guys today. But I definitely wanted to, touch on each of these points and perspectives. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me was this whole situation with Ryan Garcia, and of course the switch up that we saw take place over the past week, right? I found that to be very interesting. And one of the things that stood out to me is like, okay, now that Devin Haney, after announcing that he signed up with the 365 with VADA, the 24/7 testing program and stuff like that, and of course, since the fight card, that's going to be taking place in May. I think it's called the Ring Magazine card. I think that's how they refer to it. Fury, something like that. That the fight card in May. I found that it's been very interesting since Dev came out. You know what I'm saying? With this huge statement for testing with VADA, right? I found that ever since this announcement has been made and how impactful such an announcement and such a stance that Devin has taken could make potentially, I found it to be all the more peculiar. Why? Since that announcement, no one at large that I've seen seems to be at all curious about the testing parameters for racist Riri. Anybody else find that odd? How ever since Devin Haney came out with this announcement, nobody has thought to pan to the left or to the right at Ryan Garcia and say, well, what's your testing situation, bruh? What's going on with you? Right? I just found that to be so odd that there's like a hush over testing parameters for Ryan Garcia, right? We know what Devin is going to be doing for this fight card in May and onward, real talk, okay? But what about Riri? What is Riri going to be doing for his fight against Rolly Romero in May? Isn't it odd how forgetful people seem to be, you guys? Isn't that odd? How are people this forgetful? Real talk, y'all, it hasn't even reached a year, okay? We have not even reached a complete year cycle yet since Riri was caught on goddamn PEDs, okay? We have not even reached a year yet. Yet, suddenly, In his first scheduled fight since the incident, no one has any goddamn questions as to what his testing will consist of, how things will be in effect to ensure his testing. It's just super weird to me, y'all. The silence around it. The silence around it from the broader boxing community. You know what I'm saying? The real ones, we got our foot on it. We got our eyes on what's popping. You know what I'm saying? But the broader dialogue is not being had, and I find that to be extremely problematic. Okay? We've seen him in previous weeks. Ryan, I'm talking about now. We've seen Ryan in the previous weeks, right? He's been all over Europe, you know, during that little stunt and stint that he was doing out there, you know, for the Ring Magazine Awards, and he was talking to the press and everything like that. We've seen him, okay, stating with all types of, you know, ignorant certainty, if you will, that, you know, making insane statements that, you know, he's not going to be using VADA. One thing I'm not going to be doing is using VADA. This is what he's telling all the media out there as he's, you know, running his media stint over there in Europe for that Ring Magazine Award event, right? He's telling all the media, I'm not going to be testing VADA. No, you know, they still suspicious. You know, we spoke about that last time, right? Oh, I'm going to be using VADA. I'm going to be using USADA instead. Hell no to VADA. VADA loves Bill. I find it to be weird how they be loving up on Bill and Devin. Looks a little fishy to me. All the bullshit he's been trying to, you know, spin. The same old tired ass narrative that he's been cloaking over the ignorant public for nearly a year. Okay? I'm going to be using USADA. But as we should be all well aware of right now at this particular point, okay, thanks to people like the great Queen Rachel, salute to the Queen, Rach, okay, who's been putting the whole boxing world on about, you know, VADA's program and their procedures and USADA and the difference between them and WADA and all of these things, right? On her and Nonito's channel, salute to the both of them, right? We are all made aware, those of us who keep up with this type of stuff, that USADA does not test pros. So what the fuck USADA is Ryan Garcia talking about using, y'all? USADA only does Olympic testing among the amateurs, the boxing amateurs. So what USADA is this man referring to? Huh? It's crazy to me. And what's even more bizarre to me, as I've been sitting back gauging this, okay? It's bizarre to me that with all of these delusions, all of these evasions and blatant representation of information on the part of Ryan, nobody is holding him to the stake and asking him real questions when he's throwing this bullshit around. Why isn't the media when he gets to talking like this, why is nobody that is in front of him saying, excuse me, are they not educated about USADA and the differences of these protocols and stuff like that? These people are in the industry. You know what I'm saying? They're a step or two above us. We are boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? Those people are in it with the boxers. You mean to tell me that those people don't have the wherewithal to know something, you know, as you know, weighted and significant as the difference between USADA and VADA, and the fact that USADA does not test pros boxers, but that man can stand there in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, and tell the world, oh, I'm going to be using USADA because VADA, nah, they're fishy. They work with Victor Conti. They love up on Bill. They work for Bill and Devin. You understand what I'm saying? Why are these people not asking real questions when they get in front of Ryan when he starts talking this nonsense? Okay? One thing that I need to know is if this man has been tested in the past year. Okay? And I think I already know the answer to that question, as do many of you here today, my beautiful people. Okay? Can anybody account for Ryan Garcia being tested over the past year? Can anybody account for this man being clean at the present moment? I think not. I think not. I have some major questions at hand, and particularly a lot of my questions are geared for Turki Al-Sheikh, who I rock with, but I got some questions for the brother. Okay? I got some questions. Now, I want to know why racist Riri would have even been considered, to take part in a major card if he had not been previously tested to begin with? Why would he be put on a major card if nobody was even sure that they could verify his cleanliness in the sport? That's really my question for Turkey. Why would you choose Ryan Garcia to be a part of this card and you can't account for his cleanliness? That's a big question that I have on my mind when I think about this, this particular venture, this upcoming event. It's very, very strange to me. Okay. Why was that not a stipulation made on the part of Turkey? All right. Let's not forget, Ryan is coming off of probably the biggest drug cheating scandal that we've seen in the last couple of years, to be honest. Okay. He was caught outright dirty. The man was doping. He was pissing hot. Okay. It's been proven with 6 goddamn tests, including a test from the New York State Athletic Commission. Okay. He was doping. He was caught red-handed with the ostarine in his system. We know that. Why was there no protocol put in place to assure that he will remain drug-free for this initial bout in May? This is his first fight back since that scandal. Where is the protocol in place for him? Why is nobody asking this on a much larger spectrum, you guys? Anybody else find that peculiar? I don't care who Ryan Garcia is fighting, whether he was going to fight Pitbull, whether he was going to fight Rolly. I don't give a damn. He should be drug tested and given all the pressure possible to ensure that he is not fucking around again. Okay? He's an absolute culprit. You caught dirty once, I got my suspicions all over you from that point out. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and not have the suspicion under you after committing such a atrocity. You know what I'm saying? I find that to be very, very odd on the part of Turkey. And, I was hearing some talk, I think, sometime last week or so. Many of you already know BF, of course, was giving and divulging a lot of information on this. And I think that he posited that it was a possibility. I think this is about a week or so ago. That is a possibility that Pitbull Cruz was demanding drug testing, if you guys recall that. Now, I can't say that that wouldn't have been the case, but what I do know is that it's highly probable that now that Rolly Romero has replaced Pitbull Cruz, that Rolly isn't insisting upon testing for this fight. That's my hunch. I don't think that Rolly is demanding testing for this fight. I highly doubt that he is being stringent with those types of demands when it comes to Ryan. Okay? Because let's also not forget that he and Ryan are cool with each other and have been for a while. Last time I heard, at least, or last time I've seen, they have a relationship with each other. Okay? So, he's not going to put that type of stipulation on Riri. Now, what my issue here is, once again, why isn't Turkey mandating that VADA testing be conducted for each fight on this card? And I understand that, let's say something like the WBC, the major sanctioning bodies, for championship fights and stuff like that. That's when it's mandated that you sign up and, to conduct the testing. I understand that. And to my knowledge, there is no, fight for, a major belt on the line on this particular card that I know of, at least. And so I'm not aware or privy to, what the mandates are or whatever. But I'm saying, like, as far as Turkey taking it upon himself, that's something that I would like to see. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering that, knowing the scandal that Devin and Ryan are coming off of because of their bout last year, why wouldn't he have prioritized testing for this card, especially since he has the 2 main people involved in that scandal, premiering the fight card, headlining the card. You know what I'm saying? That was just my thoughts about it. Why wouldn't he, take the reins here and begin implementing some necessary safety precautions, no matter if there's a title involved or not? After all, this is his card, right? He's spearheading it. He's footing the bill. Supposedly this is kind of his thing that he's taking the reins on, right? And Turkey has been staking claim to myriad avenues in boxing. Am I wrong or no? This isn't his first rodeo. He's been Also, cutting little corners out for himself and taking a hold of boxing in various ways, as we know. One could say that he's spearheading multiple avenues within the sport and making major investments, as we know, within the sport as a whole, as we've seen come to light recently, right? With his shares in DAZN and all these investments that he's been making. So why not begin initiating some systems that put forth and prioritize a clean sport at the same time, in tandem with all of his business ventures? Why not also, take a stronghold in prioritizing a clean sport? You know what I mean? For all fighters that partake in his events. Because we always hear him say that he loves boxing. He proclaims that he loves the sport. He's a fan of the sport, right? Why not insist upon clean boxing for all during his particular events? I think that he has nothing but open road to do so, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? I think it's a clear avenue for him to swoop up and take control of, 1,000%. Last year's scandal, really shook up the boxing world in one way or another with Devin and Ryan. And he's basically having these two prominent figures, on his card, just coming off of, fresh off of that scandal, making their return on his card. Why not have the drug testing being placed across the board for them, for their individual fights, for every fighter on his particular card? I really have that question, y'all. I mean, unless I'm just ill-informed or not privy, I guess, which I'm not. I'm not in circulation with Turkey or, what is going on business-wise. But as far as that, I know, the only talk that I've heard about testing has been related to Devin Haney's initiative with the 365. I heard no testing talk surrounding anybody else. All the testing announcements and, statements have been made on the part of Devin Haney, who obviously, made it public that he already signed up for the VADA 365 program and stuff like that. I hear no talk around testing regarding anybody else that's, supposedly fighting on this card in May. What's going on? What's going on? Can we assure that Ryan Garcia is going to be clean when he's fighting Rolly? It's just weird to me. I don't think that we should wait until, the proposed fight between Devin and Ryan sometime in October for us to begin now talking about, setting up for VADA. Because that means that man is doping up or has been doping up for the past year and will continue to up until the point of May. And then after May, let's say sometime in August or whatever, when he begins his camp for Devin or whatever the case is, he'll then begin cycling off. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. We got to make sure this motherfucker is clean. You know what I'm saying? And it's bizarre to me that nobody is having the severity about it. Nobody is putting weight on it. There's not even a language for it going around, of course, save for people like BFTB and Rachel and Champside and the real ones out there, Drew. You know what I mean? The real ones out here who really have their eye on this and care about this stuff. Where is the parlance surrounding this particular issue? Because it is an issue. We're not going to try to walk around here and talk like, oh, Ryan is back. Okay, he's going to get in the ring. This motherfucker's a cheater. Don't get the selective amnesia on me now, you motherfuckers. No, we're going to hold him to the stake. We're going to hold him accountable. You're going to try to make me forget that this nigga was a sucker and a puss and a cheater? No, I'm not going to roll out no goddamn red carpet for no goddamn Ryan Garcia because this is his first fight back. Fuck this nigga. You know what I mean? A man come into your house and rob your house blind. The next time he come, you gonna roll out the red carpet and serve this man some tea with some honey? Nah, we don't play those games over here. He gotta be dealt with all the suspicion in the world because of his behavior. He's proven himself to be a cheater. He got to be dealt with like one. He got to be kept on a short leash. A short leash. Anyway, let me see what my people are talking about. Salute to everybody in the building. If I missed you, let me see if I missed anybody. Salute. Hey, Prize Fighter. Oh, I got to take care of Prize. What's up, Prize? Nice to see you. Happy Sunday, King. Nice to see you. The lovely King, Daryl. Hey, Daryl. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yes, my people. Prize says, I hope Rolly knock Ryan the fuck out. Facts. Me too. I was thinking about that because, Rolly got that monstrous, you know what I'm saying? He got that monstrous power. He start to swinging all crazy and something land on Ryan. That's night for Ryan. Definitely night for Ryan. It's a strong possibility of that. Stylistically, I have not even engaged with with the concept of how that fight will look to me in real time, because I don't see, it's not. Now with Pitbull, I did do, in our little discussion last week, I did get into a little bit of the styles and stuff like that. I felt like it would be interesting, how those two men would look in the ring with each other as far as their styles and what the approach would be. But with Rolly in the mix now, I don't give a damn about how that fight will look, real talk, because I can't see it. I really can't see it. I don't know how that fight's going to look, my dear, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets knocked down in that fight. That's for sure. Salute to the Jab Jamboree. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. He says, "What's up, Queen?" I'm chilling, King. Nice to see you in the building. Thank you for coming. The King PG says, "I hope Rolly got his super soldier juice too, because we know racist Ryan still on it." You already know what time it is. Okay? Racist Riri is out here bugging and wilding, and he knows that people are still low-key kissing his ass. These people are still holding up, this clown as some type of media darling, some type of untouchable. The shit is disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. Facts, Coach Hudson, a whole jive turkey. Real facts. You had to take it back on their asses, King Hudson. Yes, jive turkey. Okay, a sucker, a chump. Real facts. I'm tired of this. People are holding this man up like, we can't ask him questions. We can't, ask him the hard hitting questions. We can't, assume that he'll have any type of accountability, because we won't place any accountability in his lap. Fuck that shit. Are these people really media, or are they fucking fanboys? Like, this should be, when he was out there in Europe talking all that nonsense and, I'm not using VADA, and still using the old conspiracy theory, and goddamn Tupac, really took my drug sample, and goddamn Obama and Oprah, drew my blood that day, and they took it back to Bill, and him and Bill rode up in a spaceship, and they went over to Venus, and then they transferred over back down to somewhere in goddamn Paraguay, and then they gave me the samples, and that's how the samples came back with the Ostarine. It's like, what? This thing's goddamn making up all types of goddamn elaborate stories, and nobody's gonna hold him accountable? These people are crazy. How can they actually call themselves, boxing journalists or media? What kind of questions are you there to ask if you're not asking the real questions? You can't let this man, get over like that with saying such nonsense and folly. Absolutely crazy to me. But moving on now, but I want to stay on this particular event card, right? That's coming up in May. Now, something came to my attention the other day, you guys. And I'm not going to cap. I was a little bit taken aback by what it was that I saw, because I initially was not privy to it being true or what. I just heard it and I was like, okay, well, this can't be the case, right? Now, it came out recently that Devin Haney is going to be the co-main event to this particular card in May. How the hell did that happen, you guys? Okay. Now, when it was brought to my attention by the good brother Corbin Phoenix, shout out to my brother Corbin, who hit me up on Twitter and was like, "Yo, Sugar Free, you know what I'm saying? Did you hear about this?" I'm like, "What?" You're like, goddamn Devin is the co-main. Is this real? I can't believe it. And, I'm like, I don't know. I haven't heard about that. Where have you heard it? He sent me a little snippet of, the article that, stated the wording and stuff like that. And I'm like, I kind of sat with it like, nah, that must be from, some, outdated source or some misinformed source, better yet, right? I was definitely perplexed and riddled. I'm like, nah, that can't be the case, right? I instantly thought that the man must have been mistaken. But lo and be goddamn hold. This is apparently the case now, for whatever reason. Now, the details of why this is the case, okay, is absolutely unbeknownst to me. But what I can probably, and, confidently, I would say, bet on, is that DHP is without a doubt still, the partner alongside Turkey and whatever other affiliations are on the banners and spearheading, the event. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? I think it's safe to say and it's safe to assume that DHP is still among those affiliates, right? But I can't help but ask, what the fuck would make Devin take such a stance? What would make Devin make such a concession as to be co-main, right? And trust me, I know that a lot of that can be looked at as trivial, right? Something small or, menial, if you will. But when we consider the degree, right, of disgrace that, the atrocity that Ryan committed, I'd be completely remiss if I bypassed how this looks to the eye, to the onlooker, okay? When we consider the disgraceful nature of what we know Ryan Garcia to have committed in his actions, I think anybody would be remiss of any cognizance to not look at this kind of sideways and say, what the hell? Why would Ryan be a co-main? You feel me? Like, what is the power play that is going on here that would say, okay, let's put Devin secondary, right? However minute that somebody may consider this to be, he's still secondary as a co-main, right? You got main, you got co-main, okay? What is this exchange, you guys? What do y'all think about this? I'd love to know. Because I was really quite astounded when the brother Corbin, showed that to me the other day. I'm like, well, this can't be the case, right? Is this something that Turkey mandated? What's going on here? Was it the influence of, Team Ryan Garcia that made this decision? Did they persuade Turkey? Did they mandate to Turkey some type of, delineation as far as that's concerned? Did he demand it? Did he throw a hissy fit? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with that. But, it doesn't look good to the eyes, to the people, to the fans, who are watching and who would have anticipated, and rightfully so, that Devin Haney would be the main event of this card. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have my questions. And if it was Riri, let's say, that was quote unquote flexing his muscle, right? And making this happen, then my question is, what would be on his part, deemed worthy or valuable, as far as an edge that he brings that would be able to posture something like that? What the fuck does Ryan Garcia bring of value that would mandate, or that would have Turkey and the other parties involved assume that position to say, oh, okay, well, we're going to meet your needs because you're the guy. Who the fuck is this nigga? Who is Ryan to be trying to throw that type of weight around if this is his doing? You know what I'm saying? These are among the questions that I have and I find to be very perplexing. You know what I'm saying? The drug cheating scandal is one of the biggest that we've seen in quite some time, as I've said, earlier. What the fuck leeway and push or authority does Ryan have to throw any type of weight or demands around if this is coming from the side of his team? Who the hell can he tell, oh, you're going to make me the marquee name of the event or else? You know what I mean? And alternatively, if it was not Team Ryan that deemed this to be put in place, then was it Turkey? What made this happen, y'all? Was it Turkey? And if so, why would Turkey take that posture? I got questions. It just looks weird to me. It looks weird to me because I see no angle that Ryan could have where he could be able to flex, or try to impose, any type of demand as such, to be making any type of claim if this were done on his part to say, well, if you want me on this card, I got to be the main event and Devin has to be co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Even with just the wording, all of that makes a difference, okay? We all know that the position of the names on a card, and we all know the difference between the main and the co-main event. We know what that means. Yes, it's two main events, but, you have somebody fighting before, and then you got the person who's fighting last, and that person who is fighting last is generally regarded as the person that is the headline, okay? And if that person in place is Ryan Garcia, You know, you just call him the main. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Why? Those little details matter. Okay? And they make a statement, no matter how subtle they may be. It makes a statement, and it makes a difference to the supporters of the sport, to the fans of the sport. Okay? I find it highly peculiar how this is set up, because it definitely isn't what I was anticipating in hearing that this fight card would be, put together, and in getting the confirmation when it was initially released. It was no question in my mind that Devin was, the main, period. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, all in all, I'm still, of course, going to be locked into this fight. Most definitely. I'm showing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show my support 1000%. But if I'm being honest, I don't like how this particular supposition looks to the eye of the onlooker. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the supposition that Devin is being placed as co-main. I don't like it. The only thing that Ryan should be given, is a goddamn ass whooping that's waiting for him. That's the only thing that he should be given. You know what I'm saying? No concessions made on his behalf, nothing to his benefit, nothing but that ass being dragged across the floor. Nothing but him being mollywopped upside his head. That's the only thing that man needs to be given. No concessions whatsoever. Who the hell is making concessions for this nigga? And how can he be demanding such if that is the case? I don't know. I found that to be very odd. I'd love to know your thoughts about it, y'all. Let me check in with y'all. See, real quick. Let me know what y'all think about that, you guys. Co-main Devin Haney? The Black Jesus? No, I don't like the way that looks. I don't like the way this looks. My sister Shade Girl says, I think it's something to do with fishnets. Listen, probably. Definitely on the part of Team Riri. But what the hell is fishnets? What is his, leverage over Turkey for him to be able to impose something like that? Did they threaten to pull out of the card completely? Is that something? Well, if that's the case, fuck this nigga. This motherfucker was just going to fight an exhibition that nobody gave a goddamn about. He should be kissing Turkey's feet that he's on a major card of relevance, especially, with Devin Haney, who he should have been fighting, real talk. But that he is, going to, be fighting on the same card with, at this particular point for whatever reason, because that other fight is, now slated for October between them. But he was just about to be in some lame ass 99-cent exhibition fight against a no goddamn body, against the man that work at the goddamn pawn shop across the street. Get the hell out of here. What type of leeway can they, impose on Turkey? It's weird to me, you guys. Very weird to me. PG says, D. James better not be training Ryan. His camp has been taking L since Ryan came into his camp. Absolutely, King PG. Derek James is an absolute mystery to me at this point. He's an enigma. He's been completely out of the radar. He's been out of people's, view and scope. He has not said a word ever since the Frank Martin fight. I haven't seen him since that Frank Martin fight and press conference and everything. I don't know what's going on with Derek James. I don't know who Ryan Garcia is training with. I think somebody last week had mentioned in the chat in one of the lives, I forget if it was last week's lives or the week before's live, but I think somebody said that they had seen Derek James next to Riri for whatever that exhibition fight was going to be. I don't know if that's true because I wasn't checking for it, but if D. James is still by Riri's side, y'all, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And is Frank Martin still with D. James? Because last time I checked, he was in somebody's gym training with somebody else, and D. James was nowhere in the vicinity. Okay? What's going on? What's going on? Ryan Garcia literally cleared out the world-class boxing gym. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. King Eric O, salute to you. He says, Devin will do whatever it takes to kick shit off. I feel you. He is not too proud. Yeah, I get you. So, Eric, do you think that, are you positing that the concession was made on the part of Devin, to basically trap him for their fight in October. Do you think that was a stipulation, that was one of the demands and stipulations on the part of Ryan, that said, oh, well, if you want to fight me, blah, 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 you got to make me you think it was something like that? And Devin was just like, listen, I'll do whatever it takes. Here, take this. As long as I can get you in October. Is that where you're coming from, King? I mean, I could definitely understand that. You know, Devin is no stranger to making all types of concessions to get the job done, as we know. And I salute the King for all of his moves. And trust me, I'm not faulting Devin as I speculate upon these notions. I'm just saying how it looked to me and what my initial reaction was. Because there is no way in hell that this fucking drug cheating bitch should be anything over goddamn Devin Haney. That's just my raw, unabashed emotions about the situation. I don't care what this man was demanding. You're a drug cheat. You get to demand nothing over here. You know, maybe I'm just a lioness like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Devin is way better than me, because I would have bit that man's head off. I'd have bit his head off if he even said something so stupid like that to me, or brought something so stupid like that to the table. Devin is a real one. You know what I mean? So I trust his judgments, and I salute the King. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, he wouldn't have done it in vain. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have done it if he didn't think there was something to gain on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? And his judgment has proven very well in the past, as we saw him, you know, have to make that type of judgment call against Cambosis, and, you know, going over there twice, and the odds against him, and the possibility of the judges screwing him over and all of that, and taking the less money. So we've seen Devin on the battlefield, you know, and having to take about 2 or 3 steps back in order to jump about 5 steps forward. So I definitely trust the young King. You know, I just hate, you know, that any type of concession would have to be made to please, or to cajole, or to corset the cowardly Ryan Garcia in any type of way. That's the part that I hate, for sure. The King Stephen is in the building. King, what's up, King? He says, yes, right beside him. Saw it myself. Hey, Sister Cameron. For sure, y'all. What's the Coach Hudson says? He says, Oscar gave Turkey dibs on the Ring magazine. Ah, that's all that good old... Oh, okay. So you think it has to do with the Ring magazine. Okay. Yeah, because Oscar owned that, right? That's all that good old boy shit is about. Big Turkey about to learn how much of a snake he is. You said a word, Coach Hudson. You said a word. Hey, Freedom's March. What's up, King Freedom? Nice to see you. Right, Michael Ray. Perfect trap by Devin. Yeah, it's highly probable. Highly probable. Sometimes, and as the saying goes, you know, you get more bees with honey. You get more bees with honey. You know what I'm saying? Than you know, anything else. So it's chess, not checkers. I guess that's the overall play here. You know, but I'm all fire. Y'all already know how I get down, child. Ooh, child. I saw that. I was like, excuse me? Devin is the what? Not on my goddamn watch. Jeez. Y'all already know I had my guns blazing. I said, oh, hells to the no. This punk? Nah, not having it. I did not like that at all. Couldn't believe it when I first saw it at all. Hey, G. McCall. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming, King. Hey, Dante. How you doing? Daryl says, sugar free. You forgot to mention drug cheating, racist, zesty bitch. Okay. Okay. Thank you, King. Thank you, King Daryl. Okay. Nah. I could not believe that, you guys. Y'all already know I had my guns blazing. My knives was up, baby. What? Ready to tear his ass up. I'm not making no goddamn concessions for you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the King Devin, you know, is a rider. He's a king. He's a smart king, and he's a patient king. And so that's why I respect him so much. So I knew whatever the case was, whatever the parameters were that he set up and felt comfortable enough to make such a decision, I knew that it was a chess move ultimately that was being made. And, you know, Ryan Garcia is such a, you know, simp and a sucker and a coward that, you know, the minute you say something, he's like, oh, well, you got to do this for the lawsuit. You got to drop the lawsuit or else. Devin's just like, what is it that you want? You know, you sassy motherfucker. What do you want? All right, that's what you want? Here, take it. Long as I could beat your ass at the end of this, here. I don't give a damn what you asking for. Take it as long as I get to fucking mop the floor with you. So I respect the King Devin. Salute to the King Devin on that one. But yeah, definitely wanted to touch upon that because I was definitely to my dismay when I first saw it. I'm like, excuse me? What's going on here? But of course, we know that DHP, Bill Haney, all of DHP have something in line and in store. And I cannot wait until they get to put a good whooping on that man. That's for sure. Now, moving on. Tank Davis uses VADA ahead of his Lamont Roach fight. Did you guys see the footage recently that Lamont Roach shared on his YouTube earlier last week? Did y'all come across that? Did y'all see that? Now, if you look at your screens, of course, I have a shot right in the middle of Lamont being drug tested by VADA. This is from the footage that he posted, to his YouTube. Go check that out on his page, YouTube page, if you guys have not seen that. But he basically does with what the beautiful queen Rachel and her lovely husband Nonito have documented on their page, where at least a portion of it, he shows them getting the shot, he shows him breaking the seal, all of that. Okay, he evinces that on his page. Okay. He put out a video which featured a segment showing the whole process, the testing, with the VADA rep and the needle. Very interesting. Okay, go check it out if you haven't. And do you know why this is interesting and why this is such a big deal? Because, of course, as we recall, all of the delusional fanboys for the past year nearly, ever since the whole scandal broke out with Ryan Garcia, have been trying to say, along with Tank Davis, who has been, a part of the whole sassy patrol, just like these fanboys have, waving a banner that somehow VADA is, working for the Haneys. Somehow VADA is, illegal and, fishy and, they got some internecine exchanges and dealings in the industry and dark and all types of crazy shit. Y'all know what time it is about the stuff that we've been hearing all of this time, you guys. So it's like if Lamont is being tested for VADA, well, that means that Tank Davis is being goddamn tested with VADA as well. Am I lying or no? Okay? Tank is, this fight is being tested by VADA. VADA is taking care of this. Okay? Absolutely insane. It's crazy how all of these notions have been circulating around, right? You guys already know the hailstorm of insolence that we've been suffering from across social media from these damn fools, okay? Clinging to the hope and belief that Tank Davis was somehow beyond using the VADA program to facilitate his test. Oh no, Tank Davis is using something else. He don't use VADA. You can't trust VADA. They're fishy. They work for the Illuminati and Victor Conti, right? All of the nonsense that we've been hearing. Well, all of the dumb shit with the circulation and the revealing of this new footage of Lamont Roach. All of that nonsense has been thrown into the coffin. Completely thrown into the damn coffin, y'all. Now, the sad thing is, we've been trying to tell these goddamn imbeciles who've been riding with racist Riri and Tinkerbell Davis since these bitches, we've been trying to tell these motherfuckers, like, ever since all of this commenced, that listen, none of that is true. VADA is the trusted, program to ensure testing and clean, athletes for I don't know how goddamn long. What the hell is suspicious about goddamn VADA now? You tying VADA to the, Illuminati? When the fuck did this happen? How did this happen? All you that mad that Ryan Garcia popped dirty and got caught popping dirty? Now you got to make up all of these types of lies and delusions to try to cover this bitch's ass? I mean, I can't tell you, you guys. I really can't even say how mystified I was by all of this nonsense. The charades were just endless, as you remember. Y'all remember? We see it every day. We see it till this day in all of these chats. All these delusional people popping up, still caping for Ryan and Tank. Oh, Tank Davis, he don't use VADA either. And we've seen Tank Davis even make crazy statements. Oh no, I'm not using those people. I'm using somebody else. And even in, if you guys remember the fight with Frank Martin last year, Tank and Frank, somebody asked Tank, what testing was going to, who was going to be facilitating the testing? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be using VADA? Somebody asked him that question directly. He said, no, I'm using the other one, the one that does the Olympics. No such thing is true. No such thing is true, because Champside already debunked that notion when he went online to USADA's website, and you can look up any fighter's name who's ever tested with USADA before, and Tank Davis's name is not among the testees. You can see Shakur Stevenson, you can see Clarissa Shields, you can find Keyshawn Davis on that website, of course, because they have the Olympic history or whatever. And how many samples, you can see all of that on their website. Tank Davis is not, among the, publicly listed names. So what USADA was he testing with for the Frank fight? So all of the misinformation that has been going on, generated by Tank himself, by Ryan himself, and of course passed on, by the delusional fanboys and exchanged on, delusional, YouTube channels and all the fanboy sites and stuff like that. All types of crazy things have been going around. All of that to what end? To what end? Here we are. Tank Davis is fighting Lamont Roach, and they are signed up for VADA testing. A real live VADA representative, okay, and professional was right in front of Lamont Roach conducting that testing. You see him taking his blood, collecting his samples, all of that. And Lamont Roach asked on camera, all right, yeah, y'all testing me. Y'all going to go to test Tank right after this, right? Y'all just make sure y'all go test Tank. And he confirmed with that representative, and the rep said, yes, we are going to test Tank, after this, or whatever the case was. But we will be going to test Tank. Excuse me? So what were all of these charades and stories for? Do you see how crazy this is? It's crazy. People literally jumping in front of bullets, trying to safeguard Tank Davis, just like they were Ryan Garcia, trying to protect him from the big monster VADA, from the untrustworthy VADA program and all of their affiliates and, the Contis, and these people can't be trusted, and, they're liars and, conspirators. It's like, what? What is going on? All of that, and this motherfucker is testing with VADA for his fight in March. What? What was all of this for? What were all of these webs being spun for? I found that to be absolutely crazy, and it was absolutely brilliant on the part of Lamont Roach to document this and to publish it. To make it public information so that people aren't, waving the banner that Rachel and Nonito are the only ones, making videos about that documented that, and they can't be trusted either somehow. No, here's Lamont Roach also saying, no, this is the process. You can look at me getting tested amid, my upcoming fight, in preparation for my upcoming fight with Tank Davis. And best believe the same thing that you're seeing me go through, they trailing their asses over there to go do the same goddamn testing for him as well. How crazy are these people looking out here in these streets that have been spinning these lies? Absolutely incredible. Can you believe the things that we've been hearing, you guys, for the past year? I mean, when we really sit back and think about the crazy levels of denial and delusion and dissonance that we come across, even up until this point, of people who just want to lie and spin a web. And for what? For what? Because you cannot cope that Ryan is a cheater. Who the fuck is Ryan? Half of these people didn't give a goddamn about Ryan 3 years ago. Didn't care about him. Didn't put him on no goddamn pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying? The best they gave him was that he was a prospect to be considered, among the kings at that time. I guess the 4 kings. But he was never a 4 king to me. You know what I'm saying? He always just was somebody, a prospect that had potential, or whatever. And he was building a name and stuff like that. And there was being made to look like a pretty boy like De La Hoya was in his prime when he was a young man. And Ryan had that same, marketing that they were assuming similar to that of De La Hoya when he was young and stuff like that. So, he was just that for me. Not no forking. Nobody gave a goddamn about Ryan. All of a sudden, these people jumping in front of bullets for him? What is going on? We see these motherfucking sassy goddamn crusaders calling this man pretty after he popped dirty and jeopardized the life of an active champion of a beautiful warrior like Devin Haney. Come on, you guys. Come on. And these same people are the ones that will dismiss the fact that their Tinkerbell Davis that they love so goddamn much, you know what I'm saying, is the same man that made sure his ass had a rehydration clause and was tested with VADA for their fucking fight. Talk about convenient amnesia and selective amnesia. What? It's crazy to me the things that we have been seeing and the things that have been allowed to commence in this sport. Absolutely insane. And all the narrative pushers on their pages and on their Twitters and everything goddamn else pushing these falsities. Absolute cap everywhere you turn. And now Lamont Roach just put all of that to bed. And guess what? Now all of this is out. Have you heard anybody talking about this? Did you hear anybody speak about this Lamont Roach footage posted on his page by the droves? No, you don't hear people by the droves, talking about this. That VADA is going to be the facilitators of testing for this particular bout on March 1st. You hear no major platforms talking about this far and wide, of course, aside from the real ones. Excuse me? Everybody's so conveniently quiet now. Oh, look how convenient this hush is when it comes to this. Absolutely crazy that nobody is talking about that. Not crazy to me, because we know that these cowards run and hide when that fire come through. Okay, when that fire is put on their ass, they don't like the truth. They don't like the real shit. You know what I'm saying? But how convenient that nobody is talking about this now. Where are all the tank protectors? Oh, Tank don't use VADA, no, because VADA's fishy. Nah, he used something else. He's going to find his own thing. Just like the same things that they see with Ryan. He's going to find his own testing facilitators. Where are they at now? Where are they at now that it is certified that VADA is facilitating the testing for the Lamont Roach fight? Absolute silence among these cowards. What y'all think about that? Let me check in with my peeps. Beautiful sister Chiquila says, Rachel has always explained that both fighters have to be enrolled if one is enrolled. Thank you, beautiful queen. Thank you, beautiful queen. Absolutely. She expounded upon that multiple times and in various ways. Hey, Queen Tay-Tay. How you doing, sis? Nice to see you. TM, nice to see you. Salute. He says, just try and make Tank look good and Ryan. Exactly. That's all that's for. The King Stephen says, Ryan and Tank are pathological liars and gaslighters. Believe nothing they say, half of what you see. 1,000% King. 1,000% King Stephen. Jay the Man says, boxing is full of hoes and fans. Oh, hoe-ass fans. Facts. It's insane. Diabolical. Diabolical. That's the only fitting word that I could really use. It really is. It really is diabolical. It's like, what type of mindset is making way for this type of logic to be had? I don't get it. These people acting like these, they're their wives. Are these your wives, Tank Davis and Riri? That you will go to these extremes and to these lengths? Doesn't make sense to me. These men are fighters. Let them get in there and fight. Okay? Grown ass men. You know what I'm saying? If they fuck up, there's accountability that is to be had. Why are you picking these men up and babying them and breastfeeding them like, you know what I'm saying? What is going on? Insane how they want to shield these men from any sense of accountability, from any semblance of responsibility. It's crazy to me. The King Era says, that shit blew my mind. Are you talking to Mike? Enigmatic Son, hey, nice to see you. He says, I hope Lamont wins for real. Child, I've heard a lot of people say that. And I also heard if it wasn't that a definitive statement like that, like I hope he wins, a lot of people are like, what if he wins? Like I hear a lot of people saying like, damn, what if this is an upset, like on some, you know what I'm saying? What if this is a real Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson type of upset? Like what's going on? I hear a lot of that. Hey, Jay Grant, nice to see you, King. Nice to see you. Hold on, let me wrench you up. Interesting stuff at hand, y'all. The King Darrow says it's flat out racism and zesty behavior. 1000%. All of that has to do with that. It definitely has to do with that, as I've posited and shared and divulged with you guys, in plenty of previous videos of mine. That is absolutely why they cannot stand Devin Haney. That is absolutely why, you get that dynamic where they're still kissing Ryan's ass, publicly and outwardly in the media and stuff like that, not holding him accountable and still, kissing his hand, so to speak, even though he's a proven drug cheat. It's crazy. He's not castigated at all. Absolutely not. The Queen Nick J's in the building. Did you just get in here, sis? Nice to see you, beautiful sister Nick. She says, the giggles. I would giggle if Roach won. Jal, me too. Me too. You know what? And I think about, because real talk, I want Tank to win because I want to see, I expect him to win overall. I'll say that. But I also want him to win because I want to see what is beyond this Roach fight. That's really what my interest is. It's not this Roach fight. It's what's beyond this fight. Because I want to see if he's going to pull another stunt like this again. I want to see if he's going to pull up yet another 130-pounder or another, insignificant name. What is the excuse going to be now, especially that he's been under fire for the past month or so, since the announcement of the fight and since the presser commenced and stuff like that? I'm really, really wondering what the next move will be after this Lamont Roach fight. I cannot wait to see, because I think he's had more fire on his ass in the past month or two, from this particular choice than he's faced in his career, real talk. I think he's been quite coddled for much of his career. And this is the most under fire that I've ever seen him that I can account for, as far as the public's displeasure with his choice of opponent. So I can't wait to see, because I don't think people are going to let him off easy. They ain't let him off easy this time. So if he fuck up and fuck around and goddamn, you know what I'm saying, make another crazy choice and opponent for his next fight, if it's not somebody like Loma, if it's not somebody like, you know what I'm saying, Keyshawn, if Keyshawn grabs the strap, or Shakur or whatever the case is, he probably going to need to retire at that particular point. Because I don't know how far people are willing to allow, this type of behavior to go on. For sure. Exactly, Sister Cameron. What's beyond retirement? And because that's okay. I want to see what you're going to do. Are you going to get your ass and haul your ass up out of here like you said you would? What's popping? Because if you are, I got the motherfucking door open for you. I'm holding the door for you. You ain't got to worry about getting to the door. I got the door. Because if you going, go. All right? But you ain't going to be up in here wasting people's goddamn time and hard-earned money. That's for sure. So if you're going, get your ass the fuck up out of here. What's going on? Because all of this 1 foot in, 1 foot out ain't doing it. It ain't cutting it. Absolutely crazy. The King, the great Mike says, if Roach wins, I got to hear the ridiculous excuses that come out. Yep, you already know. You already know. We're going to be on high goddamn unalive watch because people are going to be jumping from buildings. Please, his take fans can't even deal with, somebody saying something, criticizing about his performance or, making an assessment about his, whatever the case is, these people are sensitive. So if that man lost, all hope will be lost for those particular type of people who ride the bandwagon for him the way that they do. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, let me touch on this next point, you guys. Bud and Canelo. Now, did you guys hear that Bud and Canelo's fight has been made official and that it's set to take place on September the 13th? What do you guys think of this? Now, if you guys, remember, I think I've said it a few times. For me, it's not a fight that I've ever been crazy about. And I'll just say this. I have a few thoughts about this fight. Firstly, if the reporting is true, I'm wondering if Bud will have a fight, let's say maybe around springtime. What is this? We're, going into February. Is Bud trying to have a fight, like, let's say in May or June? Something like that? Because him waiting all the way until September would be quite odd to me. I think that it would make sense instead of jumping into his first fight at 68 with the likes of a goddamn Canelo straight away. I think it would be wise for him to take an intermediate fight. Okay. Now, Bud's being pretty tight-lipped about his moves and his intentions, as always, right? But at the same time, I do recall that prior, if you guys remember, to his fight against EJ, right? Remember that Bud was insisting that he have an in-between fight? You know what I'm saying? A stay busy fight, basically to keep him warmed up. And then he took that fight against Avanesian. I think that took place on Black Prime and stuff like that, right? I think that was like December. And then he and EJ ended up fighting in July, something like that. So he had a fight within, some months of that EJ fight. I'm wondering if he's going to take the same posture and the same precautions for this particular fight with Canelo, right? Have you guys heard anything about that? I sure as hell haven't. Okay, the man is goddamn jumping up 2 whole weight divisions. I think it would be wise for him to do so, to say the least. Okay. Now, speaking about Bud being goddamn tight-lipped, among my curiosities about Bud, and probably something that I've always been curious about concerning this man is, why isn't he informative, Bud Crawford? Why isn't he informative with his fans? You feel me? Like with the boxing public? It's very odd to me, this particular trait and characteristic of Bud. Now, y'all remember we couldn't get this man off of somebody's interviewing couch a year ago. We couldn't get him off of street parades. We couldn't keep him off Wheaties boxes with all the goddamn promotion that he was doing in celebration of his victory over EJ. Okay? But when it comes to, his plans in boxing, we can't get a semblance of a word. We have no shred of discourse surrounding any particular ideas about what he intends to do, about this Canelo fight. Did he even make an announcement himself about the Canelo fight? His good friend did, but he has not. His good friend went on some airwaves and said, yes, the fight is going down and stuff like that. This dude that's a part of his team, I forget his name, he made that announcement. He dropped that news. But Bud hasn't said anything. What is the secrecy? You know what I'm saying? And moreover, what are Bud's intentions? Let's say if this Canelo fight does not materialize, what is he going to be doing? Who is he going to be fighting? Does he still in goddamn intend to, is he trying to be undisputed at 54? If he is, why the fuck is he going up to 168? I got so many questions around Bud, you guys. It's insane. It's insane. He doesn't answer questions. Okay? He doesn't answer questions. I feel him, he may be a man of few words, as far as the public is concerned. But it's peculiar to me, if I'm being honest. Why don't we know Bud's intentions? What's so hard about saying that? You know what I'm saying? This is the same man that gets mad when he feels shut out, that people aren't rocking with him or, pledging their loyalty by the droves in numbers that he wish were pledging their loyalty and allegiance to him. But at the same time, there's a half of a public that will ride with you no matter if you say anything or not. They'll just go ahead and ride. But then again, there are people like me, who are very outwardly and who like communication and who like to be privy to your moves, because that will allow me to see what it is that I am supporting, and it'll either call my support forward or retract it. But either way, I'd like to know. I like things on the table. I don't like to beat around the bush. That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? So what about the people like me who are fans and say, okay, what's up with you? Like my real gunners like Devin and EJ and, you know what I'm saying? I say this time and time again, they never have me out in the streets looking crazy, because for the most part, they tell me what is going on in one way or another. Even if I don't hear from them for some time, they've already established with me what their passion is, what their motivation is. and I rock with them based off of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know a goddamn thing about Bud. I rocks with the king, but he doesn't talk. He does not let his fans know what is going on. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with 54? Why did he try to tackle a belt at 54 if he had no intention on dominating the division? You feel me? Like, what? I don't know. I have questions and they're not being answered. And so I find myself very frustrated as it pertains to Bud. Now, for the past couple of weeks, or let's say month or so, I've had various conversations with people, basically who have been speculating that pretty much after the fight with Canelo, they posit that Bud is basically out of the door and running into the sunset, right? They're saying that he's going to retire because it would not make sense for Bud to fight at 68 and come back down to 54. All right. And the people are, factoring in his age and stuff like that, which is true. I believe Bud is something like 37 or something like that now. So it's definitely to be considered. I got no beef with that at all. If you want to retire, go home to your wife and kids. I salute that. You know what I'm saying? I got no beef with that whatsoever. But why don't we know that? Like that's my own. Why don't we know that as your fans, as supporters, I should say? Why don't we know that as your supporters? As somebody, I'm somebody that considers him, pound for pound. I'm one of those people, that is not, oblivious to his position and his stature and his throne. I acknowledge him and I give him that credit as the pound for pound #1 in the world. Why am I being kept out of the vision of Bud Crawford? Obviously, he knows how to communicate when he wants to. What's the goal? You know what I'm saying? So let's say if he goes to 68 and he fights Canelo, and let's say he beats Canelo, are you going to fight in Billy? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get the killers up there? Are you trying to line it up? And what are you doing? What are you doing? Because I don't know why he's holding this belt at 54, you guys. Why are you know what I'm saying? I got so many questions, and excuse me if I'm so scatterbrained, but like when I tell you I have myriad questions, it's just all types of questions concerning Bud. Question marks are everywhere around Bud in my mind because he does not talk. He does not communicate. That's precisely why I find it to be very odd. And this is precisely the reason why I found it very difficult, if I'm being completely honest, to really grab hold of Bud in a full-on way. Even though I've been a supporter of him for some years, I liked him, especially when that exchange with, the classic exchange with him and EJ those years ago. Remember with EJ with the red sweater and he was with the black and they talking. You know what I'm saying? That fight built up and that tension was between them. And I loved that. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see what Bud would be able to do because, of course, that was the talk of the town. You know what I'm saying? At that particular point, it was riling up, it was stirring up, and it was, a part of the major, major heat that generated, of course, what ultimately became that fight. But, even though I liked him and I supported him, I could never really fully surround him. He doesn't make things clear. He's very vague. He's very distant. What's happening? I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to do, bro. Can you let me know? Does anybody else feel like that about Bud? Or am I tripping? I just can't get with it. I can't get with it. And it's probably one of the big reasons why the boxing public hasn't always been, real talk, too eager to circle around him and gravitate towards him and grant him the level of popularity that he feels that he deserves and that he feels he was shunned from, right? Because he got a chip on his shoulder. Oh, y'all always try to keep me out. Y'all would put me secondary all this time. And now I'm pound for pound, #1, and y'all still kind of salty. You be hearing his words and seeing his tweets and stuff like that. He still kind of has a grudge on his shoulder, but it's like, well, you gotta let people know where you stand. I mean, we know your talent, we know your excellence, we revere you for that. We can see that. That's plain as day. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the beautiful performance, devastating performance he put against EJ, right? Nobody's in question about where he stands as far as his kingship, but your motives is something completely different. Are you trying to retire? If so, say, listen, I'm fighting Canelo. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Going home to my kids and my wife. That's fine. But, I would like to know. That's my only issue. You know what I'm saying? Because if this is his last fight with Canelo, he's obviously trying to go out with a bang and, attempt something that, not many people do, let alone succeed at, and he's attempting to do it. And of course he has it in his mind that he will succeed, and we want to, support the vision. And, like me, I wasn't ever a fan of the Canelo fight. That's not the fight that I want to see. I want to see the rematch with EJ. That's my fight. That's my trajectory for Earl Spence Jr. And if it's not EJ, of course, because things are so precarious with EJ, things are very vague, and, I don't know what's going on with EJ Real Talk, with the Fondora fight falling through allegedly and all these types of stuff. I don't know where EJ is. So if I cannot get that rematch in the meantime, I believe I divulged this with you guys last week. I would love to see Jamel Charlo and Bud Crawford. That's the fight that I would love to see as well. You know what I mean? Like 54 is where I want to see Bud. I have no care about 68. 68 does not matter to me. You know what I mean? But I made room for this Canelo fight based off of the premise that, if he were to be retiring, I get the big shebang. I get him trying to go out with a statement. And if that was the case, I rock with him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, if this your last hoorah, I got you, King. We're going to hold you up, stand 10 toes, do what you got to do, and I hope you win. You know what I mean? But what the fuck? If he's not retiring, what is he going to do? Ciao. Bud got me tired, y'all. I'm not even going to front. Bud got me so tired. I'm like, what is this man doing? What is this man doing? And why are you still holding the belt at 54? If you're trying to go up there, are you trying to stay up there? Like I said, I don't know, y'all. Let me check with my people, because I can go on and on about that particular situation with Bud for days. It's very weird to me. The beautiful sister Cameron says, if Bud loses, he will be nothing more than a memory. Real talk. And that's the risk of it all. That's the risk involved in all of this, beautiful sister. Absolutely. Absolutely. The King Eric said, that's why he's holding on to that belt. That's why he's holding on to that belt. There we go. There we go. I guess so. So that if he goes, and get beat, he still has, well, will they strip him if he goes to 68? Like they did Jamel? Or will he be able to retain it? I don't know how that goes when he has a singular belt. I don't know. But I would love to see him unify at 54. That's really where I want to see him. I want to see some unifications popping at 54, and I want to see some excellent matchups at 54. 1,000%. Muharib says, but trying to cash out, we all know it. Let's just say it out loud. Well, I mean, that's absolutely on the table. And that was the initial thought that I had, of course, upon hearing that the fight would even be a possibility in the first place. I said, oh, he's trying to get his bag. He's trying to get his goddamn bag. Because he don't care about no damn Canelo other than that. He want to get that bag for sure. Gil Cole says, shit, what Earl doing? Exactly. I would love to know. But if you're referencing, I mean, at this point, I don't know what he's doing, but if you're referencing about his motivations for the entirety up until recently, very recently, there have been no questions, okay, surrounding EJ and what his intentions were to me as a fan. Okay, you've been following EJ. You already know what time he's stepping on Gil. All right. He made it very, very clear. Now, as of late, with all of that took place after the Bud fight, and the alleged injuries and the sustained damage, and, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and the falling out with the Fondora fight and all of that. I have no idea. He has not been very vocal, as we know, but as far as his tenacity throughout his career, EJ has always put it on the table, and there have been no questions about what he intended to do. He is the king of strap season. He's the reason why these people out here saying strap season. That's EJ. Okay. So he always made it very clear what his intentions were. And that's why I've supported him for all the years that I have, up until recently, of course, where, of course, I don't know if he's going left or right at this particular moment. The King Mike says, also, I'm tired of all this all-time great stuff. He beat EJ and other guys he should have beat. Right. If he beats Canelo, to me, that makes him a great of this era, but not all time. I feel you, great Mike. There's a lot of people with that disposition as well. And I could even say that I agree to a large extent. The King Freedom says, why hold the belt at 54? Right. The King Daryl says, Bud wants it to be a surprise, like a gender reveal party. Daryl is too much, I tell you. Daryl always makes me laugh. Facts. I guess so. I guess he has that mindset, lovely King Daryl. Daryl says again, that's the issue with Bud. We can't really gauge him as a person. 1000%. I think that's always been, the point of contention as far as, his public persona or lack thereof, if you will. He never really had that. And I think a lot of that is based upon, the sense of distance and silence that he chooses to keep between himself and the public. Yeah, great Mike. He kept himself out 1000%. Gil Cole says Earl should fight Keith. You know what, Gil? Nice to see you, by the way, if I have not said that earlier when I read your earlier comment. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Yes, I've been seeing that a lot on the airwaves that, people are saying. And Keith recently made an announcement that he is coming back. Did you see that on his Instagram? He posted that he's making a return. I want to say, is it March or May? I think it was March or May. I passed it really quickly on Instagram a couple of days ago. But yeah, he's returning to the ring. And I've been seeing a lot of people say, well, let them get it on. You know what I'm saying? It's years overdue. People were highly anticipating that fight, when they were both in their heyday and stuff like that. Why not have them get it on? But the thing is that when EJ says something, he means that shit. That's how EJ is. EJ is, you know what I'm saying? He's 10 toes like that. If he says it, that's what he means. And he said that he's never going to fight goddamn Keith Thurman. Now, I don't know if it kind of wore him down, after, the years and of course everything that happened, with the scandal, with the, outcome of that fight and stuff like that. I don't know. But if I know EJ, as his supporter, I've only ever seen him stick to what he says. So it'll be funny to see that fight. Cause it's like, oh, EJ, he kind of softened up after all. Interesting. The King Eric says he's not fighting a healthy EJ. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know the status of EJ. Like, I want to know, is he healthy? Is this why the Fundora fight is allegedly, dematerialized? Is this why it's not coming into fruition yet again? Is this why there are more, new rumors every other week about the fight's cancellation? I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Does EJ not have a trainer? We still don't know his trainer situation. There are thousands of questions that I have concerning EJ at this point. You know what I'm saying? And he's just been silent about it all. And part of me thinks that he's not going to make an announcement until he has something solidified, until whatever it is solidified for him. I don't think he'll speak before then. So it's frustrating because I want to see him back and healthy. But it's like, are you healthy? Can you get healthy? Because EJ is, you know what I'm saying, what, a year or two younger than Bud? So, you know what I'm saying? He's also in his mid-30s. So it's like, what's going on? What's going on with your level of health, EJ? I would like to know. The King Stephen says, I get the sense that Bud tries to emulate Floyd when he does talk. Yeah, I could see that. I could see him trying to take that type of, that rhythm and swag that Floyd. Did you see them recently? I'll get into that. That's the story that I'm going to touch on. But they were recently together, Floyd and Bud. Funny enough that you mentioned that. The King Mike says, they saying that EJ is going to fight Lara for the middleweight title in the spring. What? The great Mike got some tea that I was not privy to. Interesting. I have not come across that yet, but that's very interesting. Lara? So 160? Very interesting. So do you guys think it's probable that EJ will just buy maybe a lot of the issues with the falling through of the Fundora fight? You think it's possibly because EJ has his eye on going up? Very interesting. My beautiful sister Shaquila says a win against Canelo will not make him a bigger name than EJ. So we'll always wonder what his end goal is. Well said, beautiful sister. I agree with that. I really do. Oh, the King Forever. I didn't wrench you. I'm sorry, King. I thought I did. Let me wrench the King Forever. King Forever is a real one. He says, I would like Mel to call out Bud for that 54 strap. 1000%. And Mel, of course, made his little, enticing little post suggesting his return. I think you were on Champ's channel that day, King Forever, right? When Champ side, I think he DM'd Jamel, and Jamel alluded to, him possibly coming back. So I would love to see him call out Bud too. I mean, he has in the past, but definitely with his official re-entrance into the division. Oh, child, I need to hear them calling names. Name the names. Name them names, baby. Hey, King Uncommon, how you doing? Nice to see you. I got to wrench you up too. Hold on. Oh, Neek, I didn't wrench my sister Neek. Hold on, I got to wrench my sister Neek. My sister Neek says, I have always said EJ would be at his best at 60. I heard that too. Yes, Neek, I think I have heard you say that in the past in one of you in Boxy's last shows. Yes. And I think I heard you say that as, early as, not long after that fight. You've been positing that, beautiful sister. Yes, I have heard you say that you'd like to see him bypass 54 completely. That's true. Now that you mention it. Yep. I have heard you say that. And that would be, a beautiful thing because, EJ is not no small man. Okay. So, if it's so that he would be even healthier at 60, I'm 1000% for it. 1000% for it. Wherever he goes, as long as he's healthy and safe and strong, that's the weight that I want him to contend at, where he's his healthiest and his strongest, for sure. The King Uncommon says, prime for prime. Who you got if they fought at 47, Mayweather or Bud? Prime for prime? I got prime for prime? Mayweather. Hands down. But I think it'll be a very interesting matchup. But I got Mayweather. For sure. Prime for prime. Ciao. I think Mayweather would just be too... I don't think there are many people, with as much beautiful feet as Mayweather and IQ in real time as Mayweather. Even though I consider Bud to be a really great fighter of this era, I think it'd be a beautiful fight. I wish I could, make it happen, make a simulation of it somehow, in their primes. But I'd probably back Mayweather in that particular matchup. The Great Mike says Thurman's next fight is said to be at 47. Oh, it's 47? Wait, didn't Thurman fight at 54? Wasn't he going to fight the Tim Tszyu at 54? Why the hell is he going back down? That Tim Tszyu fight, the one that fell out at this time last year, remember? Because remember Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu were going to fight? And then Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman were going to fight, and then Thurman got injured, and then that's when Fundora replaced Thurman. That was at 54. Why the hell would he be fighting at 47? Ciao. I hope not. I don't know what's going on with Thurman. Thurman is just all over the place. I think he's just trying to stay busy. I don't know what this man is doing, y'all. But that would be a wreck if he's coming back at 40. I mean, if he can make but he's up there too. So why would he want to squeeze back down to 47? I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. But yes, that's my thoughts on the whole Canelo, Bud fight. I really have no real weight, invested into that particular fight, except that, what the alternative is if the Canelo fight doesn't materialize for whatever reason, and, what his intentions are for 54, or if he's going to retire, like where does he stand? So I'm waiting on the sidelines to see what will happen as far as Bud Crawford. But I wish that he would make us boxing fans a little bit more privy to those moves and to those objectives and to those goals, because I have heard him say nothing at all about it whatsoever, and it's quite frustrating for me. Now, speaking of fights and possible unifications and all of this stuff like that, hello, we got Boots versus Stanley Onus unification taking place on April 12th. My good sister last week, Nick J, told me that they were in the finalizing stage of it. She's absolutely right. It's been confirmed that that fight is taking place. Thank you, beautiful sis, for that posit that you made last week. And it's true. It's here. The fight is happening in Atlantic City on April 12th between Boots and Stanionis. I'm super excited to have heard that announcement because if you recall, last week in our discussion, I was not at all sure what to make of the proposition fight with Boots and Devin Haney. You know, the possibility of that fight materializing sometime next year. I wasn't sure what to think about that fight being in the works without first seeing what the route was for Boots Ennis as far as the attaining of his goal to achieve unification at 47. You know what I'm saying? I was very concerned about that because I wanted to make sure that Boots doesn't get sidestepped and pushed aside like we've seen time and time again with people like Demetrius Andrade. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that Boots' needs were being met in addition to setting up other opportunities for him. And so the news of this being solidified and certified makes me very, very happy for the young king, you know, to be having his first unification bout at 47. I'm definitely at ease now knowing that he's in line with his mission. Okay, so I'm definitely happy with that. It's definitely going to be a hell of a fight with Stanionis. Can't wait to see it. And, you know, I want to see Boots clean up, you know, in this particular fight with Stanionis. I want him to return to the ring having cleaned up his defense. Okay, hopefully he has cleaned up that defense. I want to see him taking less unnecessary shots. Of course, we saw what happened in that fight against Karen, where he dominated the fight and he won convincingly, in my view. But it was a fight that was challenging nonetheless. He had a lot of things to overcome in real time against Karen. Okay, I want to see that IQ at work. I want to see that defense sharpened up on. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that beautiful boxing. Okay, hopefully he learned a lot of lessons from that fight with Karen that he had back in November. Okay, very good competitive fight. Like I said, Boots faced harsh criticism, if you guys recall. Some of you probably even were among the ones who gave him, you know, that harsh criticism. I can't say that it was unwarranted, you know what I'm saying, because we saw him take, you know, some unnecessary punishment in certain exchanges and moments in that particular fight. But, you know, he received that criticism and hopefully he took all of the notes that he needed to and is implementing them for this camp so that he could step to Stanionis with the proper pressure, okay, and the proper intelligence and the proper warfare that I'm expecting him to bring. You know what I mean? I'd like to see him mix it up, you know, mix it up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be all brawl, you know, bring that beautiful boxing to the table as well. I'd love to see that. You know what I'm saying? The IQ and the generalship is very, very important in tandem. I don't think you should have one without the other. So I believe he'll show up properly and that he will deliver because I think he has a lot to prove. If you guys have been keeping up with his little Twitter, he's been saying stuff like, keep that same energy. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring the best of myself and y'all going to see. And so I like that type of word. So he's definitely pumped up. And he has every reason to, you know, this is his first unification bout. It's the first time he'll be attempting to rip the strap directly off of the waist of a champion. Excuse me. This is the very thing that he was calling for. Okay. Was he not? Did he not say that he wants to have the feeling of what it's like to take the head of a king himself? He just said that to y'all a few months ago. And he's getting the opportunity to do that on April 12th. So shout out to the King Boots. I cannot wait to see that. I'm happy for the young king. And I'm looking forward to him showing up and showing out. Now, should Boots be successful in April, okay, it makes things extremely enticing when we consider that prospective fight that we were talking about earlier with he and Devin Haney as a possibility. Okay. And this mix up with the Turkey Al-Sheikh, should Devin get past Ramirez? Should Ryan get past Rolly? Okay. And then Devin and Rolly meet. Okay. And then T.O. is in the mix of that. Right. And then the T.O. and the Boots or whatever the case that's supposed to be. And then whoever's at the end will fight that person. Let's say it's Boots and Devin that are the two last men standing. It's a possibility that we will get that fight at some point next year. So wonderful things on the horizon. And with Boots, you know, of course, as we intend for him to become the unified champion at 47, with those belts on the line, it makes things very, very interesting as Devin makes his entrance into the 147-pound division. Facts or no, you guys? Shit is crazy. Very, very exciting stuff. Now, that would mean that if Dev gets past his fight, like I said in May, all of that, these two can be the last men standing and they could face each other and challenge each other to see who will be the unified champ at 47. Crazy, crazy stakes are at hand, you guys. Very, very high stakes at hand, and I'm excited about what is going forward. Okay, the hardware will definitely be on the line, and it will be all or nothing. All or nothing. Wonderful stuff. Imagine Devin becoming the unified champion at goddamn 47. What? What? Oh my goodness. Insane. First of all, I can't imagine the meeting, but the fact that, belts will possibly, be on the line for seeing who will be the unified champ. Absolutely amazing stuff, y'all. This makes for great, great boxing. Great boxing. I love the setup. I love the intention. You know what I'm saying? And I love how it's shaking things up. Okay. This is why I call this particular live stream the shake up, because it's a lot at play here that stands to shake everything as we know it up and render it completely new and completely fresh, and starting from, a very fresh place, which is what boxing needs. I think things have been way too stale, as I've said time and time again. We need some newness. We need some fresh life. We need some stirring up and shaking up of things. And this is a wonderful way into that. This is a nice lead in into seeing what will be changed and who will reign amid all of this change. Okay. Now, I'm wondering if there's another opportunity aligned or in the works for Boots after Stanionis, right? Because that fight is April 12th. What is he going to do? Is he and Tio in October as well? I forget how that goes. I don't think he and Tio is in October, if I'm not mistaken. But if there isn't an intermediate fight for Boots, before the end of the year, I'm referring to, and of course, should he be successful, is there going to be a possibility of, adding in Brian Norman? You know what I'm saying? As a fight for Boots? If he wins and before the year ends, can we possibly see the B. Norman fight added in there? Why not? Right? That's definitely what I want to see. That's the fight that I wanted to see, more than Karen. I didn't want to see no goddamn Karen rematch, but that was what it was, so it'd be great to see, if he can get another strap before the year is out, if there isn't anything already planned for him after April 12th, that is. So very, very, very good things on the horizon. Can't wait to see what comes to fruition for Boots. Excellent fight on the horizon in April. Definitely wishing him the best. Now, very, very briefly, you guys, because I don't want to take up too much time. I know that there's some football stuff going on. And for my football heads up in here, I know you guys, are trying to get your football on. Really quickly. Did you guys see Shakur Stevenson out? And then Mayweather and Bud visited to see him work out, right? Some footage had been circulating, right? And it was showing Shakur in the gym, of course, in preparation for the fight that's coming up for him on February 22nd with Floyd Schofield. He's shown doing some training. He's looking locked in. He's looking sharp. He's looking like he's focusing on the craft and trying to sharpen up some things. And in the gym with him, of course, is none other than Floyd Mayweather, okay, who is just, sauntering his way around the gym as he does with all that personality and swag that he has. Hate him or love him, he's definitely going to let you know he's in the building. And Bud Crawford was also there, and Eddie Hearn was also there checking in on Shakur. Very interesting dynamic seeing those three men together. Did you see that footage of them pulling and tugging at Eddie Hearn and bothering him and, picking on him? Energy was good, looked receptive. Of course, there were jokes flying and they were seen ragging on Eddie and stuff like that. It was hilarious. It was definitely nice to see some GOAT energy around Shakur. Okay, because I'm sure that he needs that. Of course, it's always good to have that around you when you're preparing for a fight. Who better than to have somebody like Mayweather, of course, whether you like him or hate him, he's a well of experience. And same thing for Bud, he feeds off of that energy. So it was nice to see them in there supporting the young king. Now, moreover, what I found to be very interesting, I'm not sure if you guys came across this, but I got some tea, y'all. Now, I came across a very interesting interview with Shakur Stevenson that was done on Boxing Social. right? You guys heard of that page on YouTube? I believe it's a British run type of channel. I've watched them a few times, right? They have good content sometimes. And it was an interview. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Boxing Social. Now, Shakur in this interview revealed some things. Let's just say that I was not expecting to hear. Okay. One being, when he was asked about if it were possible that we would be able to see a Tank fight this year, right? To which Core responded, something like, yeah, it's likely that you can get this, fight to happen at some point this year. However, me and Tank, we both have fights on the horizon. He has the Roach fight. I have the Schofield fight. We're basically focused on that at the moment, right? Now, another part came up that had me like, And I thought it was a very great question because I don't really hear people ask Shakur this question. Okay? And the person asked Shakur basically, do you have any intentions on becoming undisputed at 35? Okay? I have not heard people really ask Shakur this, at least not in anything recent in my mental catalog that I can pull from, right? So he asked him this question. Now, what was a huge eye opener for me was the response that Shakur Stevenson gave. He said this, quote, "Nah, not really. I hate to be so real in how I feel, but my truth is like, boxing is politics. So anybody can be undisputed in the right fight. Anybody can be champion with the right person in front of them. So I just try to focus on myself. I used to want to accomplish the undisputed thing, but I realized how fake this whole game is, how fake everything is. I'm focused on myself and what I gotta do. Truthfully, I don't really care about that shit." End quote. Okay, this is Shakur Stevenson's statement, you guys. The motherfucker said he don't care about being undisputed. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Wasn't I just having a conversation with you guys? I don't remember if that was in one of my initial lives or if that was in a video that I had done, when I was also in question and inquiring about Shakur Stevenson's motives. Have I not for months and months on end been inquiring about the motives of Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson and the 135 division and the unifications that were not happening whatsoever? And here this man is saying on camera that he has no goddamn intention on becoming undisputed. What the hell is going on? How can he say that? Real talk. How can Shakur Stevenson, one of the most prized, young fighters of the past several years, outside of Devin Haney and Tank Davis, always been those three men whose names have been synonymous with each other. How could this man say that he doesn't want something as coveted and as pivotal and as vital to one's legacy as undisputed? What would make him say that? I couldn't help but think that, you guys. He's no longer interested in undisputed. When he said boxing, is politics, anybody can be undisputed in the right fight. What did he mean by that? Did he mean that people, are, implanted in positions to achieve undisputed? Is that what he's talking about? That people are picked and implanted into the unpositioned role? Into the undisputed role, excuse me? What does he mean? The politics and anybody can be undisputed in the right fight. What is he talking about? Is he saying that, it's reserved for the quote unquote pick of the litter? Favorites of the higher ups only get to be in position to achieve that? Is that what he's saying? I don't know what this man is saying. What's sad here to me, you guys, is that, he could have fought to become goddamn undisputed against Devin Haney. But he goddamn denied the opportunity, okay, being overzealous about the percentage that he was offered by DHP at that particular time. He could have goddamn been undisputed if he had fought for it. But he chose to deny it. So now, he's got this unrequited unrequited love with becoming undisputed, never to be fulfilled or seen through. He had goddamn undisputed on the table. Am I bugging or no, y'all? Y'all know what's up. You denied it, bro. So now all of a sudden you've lost love for trying to attain that. It's very odd to me. It's very odd to me. I don't even understand. Nobody can really understand or explicate, why he even, felt so self-centered and arrogant enough to even dismiss the offer that Devin had placed in front of him at that time. What would give him the arrogance, to say, oh, that's not enough. You gotta come up, bruh. Absolutely insane when every single belt in the division was on the line and he offered you 25% of everything. As our beautiful brother, the King BFTB, has explained to us, I don't know how many goddamn times over the past, year or so, however long it's been since that whole situation commenced. Outright arrogance, denied and dismissed and turned his nose up at Undisputed when Devin offered it to him before he moved up to 40. And now all of a sudden you're disenchanted with the idea of becoming undisputed. What's going on? Now you're complaining about politics. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess I can understand that to some degree, right? Politics is always involved in anything, especially when we're dealing with high level, elites, athletes and money and millions of dollars and all of this stuff. Of course, politics are going to be at play. I'm not dismissing the probability of what he is saying about that. Okay. But what does that say of your goals as a fighter? To say that you are disenchanted with Undisputed. What the fuck are you trying to do if you're not trying to become Undisputed? Real talk. Why do you have a belt now? If the goal is not to collect the other three. You feel me? I have questions around him. If you're not trying to become Undisputed, do you at least intend on unifying Shakur Stevenson? And if you do intend on unifying, why not, as I said earlier, clean out the rest of the damn division? It's very odd to me. Where is Shakur Stevenson going, y'all? What is his objective? I find myself asking that a lot about a handful of fighters, real talk. I don't get these people. I don't get the logic behind these people. I really don't. And the part where he says, oh, I'm just focusing on myself and what I got to do. What does that mean? Are you just, basically saying that you're going to line up fights and collect a check? You're going to line up fights that don't cling to the hearts and minds of the boxing world? Is that what you're saying? That you will only take fights, so long as that they are, to keep you busy. It has nothing to do with, really riling up the public and stirring up fights that the fights want to get, fans want to get behind and support you in. You're just trying to stay busy. Is that what you're saying? Oh, you're only focusing on yourself and what you got to do? What you got to do? Collect checks? I just don't like the parlance, you guys. I don't like the language of that. I couldn't help but feel a tinge of mediocrity stain his words, y'all, to keep it real. I didn't like that. That's not how I'm used to my real ones. My ones, I'm not used to them talking to me like that. My ones don't profess things like that. They don't say things like that. Is he saying that he's just merely focused on getting on, his checks and going home to his wife and kids? That's not how you get fans around you. I really do believe that these fighters are completely overlooking the fact that there is a boxing public that upholds them and supports them. Okay? They're forgetting that. When they talk like this, they are completely oblivious to the fact that people like me and you and every beautiful person in here and all the thousands of other people across the world who love the game like we do, who are watching them and who are attentive to the things that they say. Because we are not fanboys. We are fans of the sport. And we uphold the fighters who uphold the sport. And that type of talk does not sound like you are upholding the sport. It sounds very selfish. It sounds very dismissive of the sport. You are forgetting that there are people who will support you based off of the love for the sport. So all of this passion that he wants to say, because he went on in that interview and said, oh, I got the passion. This is what I love to do. It doesn't sound like it. When you dismiss legacy, because that's what Undisputed is about. That's what unification is about. But definitely Undisputed. It's a solidification of one's legacy in the line of the beautiful kings who have done it before you. It's saying that you will walk in that line and you will uphold the sport and you will, you will attain, and reach the precipice of excellence in the sport. That's what undisputed is. Why would you dismiss that and try to pass it off as passé in any particular type of way? I find that to be very strange. Such a disposition as the one that he revealed does not incite a sense of commitment in me to stand 10 toes with him based off of that type of language. That's for sure, because it makes him look fickle. It makes him look careless about his own greatness. And it makes him look like he's in question about his own potential and legacy. Does it not? Does anybody agree with that? That's what it looks like to me. Why would you be talking like that? I was highly displeased hearing that, you guys. Go check out that interview if you haven't. Boxing Social, type in Boxing Social Shakur Stevenson. You'll hear it, verbatim for yourself. But I was just, the takeaway from that for me was like, what? I get that he's locked in. I get that he's focused and he wants to be, more self-centered, and engaged in whatever, thing that he feels will keep him centered. But I just didn't like the dismissal of, the possibility of his legacy. It's like, well, what are you fighting for then? Because if you don't want undisputed at 35, what does that mean? You're going to move up to 140? But if you don't want it at 135, what the fuck you don't want it at 140? You feel me? Like, if it don't matter at 35, what weight class is it going to matter in? That just means that undisputed doesn't matter to you at this point. And that's not to say that he is not liable to change his mind. Of course, he's still a young man. And for whatever reason he's disenchanted may soon pass. Who's to say in the future? But I just don't like that particular type of language, what happened to him saying, I'm the next Floyd Mayweather? You remember that clip? I'm the next Floyd Mayweather. I'm the next Sugar Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying? What happened to that? I was down for that particular type of journey with Shakur, establishing himself, among that cloth of greatness, like Mayweather, like Sugar Ray, and solidifying his spot as a young king. I was down for that. That's what made me sign up to Shakur Stevenson and made me a rider with him for all the years that I have been. This doesn't sound like the same person that said I'm the next Floyd Mayweather, if I'm being real. What is with these withering hearts in boxing, y'all? We got him saying that he's, disenchanted with undisputed. We got Tank Davis threatening retirement at the end of the year. What is going on? Why are all these hearts withering? Where's the heart? Where's the courageous heart? Where's the courageous heart? I don't know. Maybe I just read that wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. It's not looking like Tank or Core are going in anybody's history books with that type of disposition that they are holding. If I'm keeping it a buck, that type of, position that they are taking, it's not going to be in anybody's history books. That something's got to give at that point, and I hate to be so frank and say that, but that's what it looks like to me. Everything is momentary, not for the long haul. That's what that type of language suggests to me. This is exactly why I posit that Devin Haney is built different. Okay, not to compare, because I know they each got their own crowns, but real talk, what I'm saying, their names will forever and have always been, even up until this point and beyond this point, of course, have been tied to each other. But Devin Haney has always, stood apart. He's a different make. And it's precisely for that reason that he carries, in my view, the flame of old, right? Reminiscent of the old killers, the old gunners, the old kings, who say things like, you're going to put respect on my name. You're going to put respect on my work. You're going to put respect on where I come from and the people who made me and shaped me. That's the stance that Devin Haney has. And it's different. It hits different when you're about that because it shows. And this is why he's miles away from these dudes, miles ahead of these dudes. Miles ahead of these dudes. You don't hear Devin, cop and please, for his mistakes, for his hangups, for his learning lessons, for his challenges, nothing. You know what I'm saying? He deals with it. He sharpens his sword and he continues forward, and he doesn't let the view of his legacy evade him. He doesn't let it evade him, no matter how challenging it gets. That's why I salute the young King Devin. And I would hope that, somebody like Shakur Stevenson, who is full of potential and rife with, skill and talent, that he doesn't get so bewitched by a sense of, I'm just going to be over here on my side doing my own little thing. I'm scared that he's going to fall to the wayside. It's already bad enough that people are trying to forget him now based off of one performance that they will not let that man live down, for better or for worse, whatever it is that you want to call it. I'm not hating on the people that were disenchanted with that performance. The performance was lackluster, but goddamn, the man has fought since then, and he's still liable to show and prove. The man is barely 30 years old. I think Shakur is something like 27, 28 years old. Still a very, very young man, and with a good head on his shoulder, he has a long line and a long path ahead of him. But he gotta, I don't like that type of talk. I don't know what inside of that in him, what energy he was carrying that particular day. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense to me why he would not be wanting to attempt undisputed. He already posited with ferocity that he, that has no intention of going to 147. And in this Boxing Social interview as well, I think the guy also asked him about, if he would go to 140, and he said something like, oh, well, I'd only go to 140 for the big money fights. If it's not a big money fight, I ain't going nowhere. That's basically what he said. And it's like, okay, well, what the fuck, big money fight? Who is at 140 that you would get this big money fight with? You know what I'm saying? What is the big money fight? Your big money fight is Tank Davis, where you're at, and it would have been Devin Haney, who you chose to bypass. So I don't know what type of time Core is on right now. Very interesting position. Of course, like I said, I welcome you to go watch that interview. It's very interesting. Hear for yourself, what time that was, and make your own deduction based off of that. But I found that to be very peculiar and disheartening, if I'm being very honest. But let me check with y'all, see what y'all saying about that. What do y'all think about that? I found that to be so odd. The King Ra says, we already knew that with Shakur. Well, the King Eric says, capping because he turned down the whole thing for one fight. Facts. The King Snoopy, he says, Shakur knows he will never be undisputed, and his only chance was fighting Dev. Gee, Snoopy, you gonna put the knife in and turn it in like that? Damn. Damn, Snoop. Snoop went for the jugular on that one. What? I feel you, King. I can't even argue with that. The lovely King Darrow says, if anything, the politics were against Devin to become undisputed. 1,000% facts, King Darrow. 1,000% facts. My sister Neek says, I wish I could say I'm shocked, but I'm not. He was throwing shade at Devin. He'd been saying for a while that he was chasing the bag. That's it. Real talk, sister. Real talk, Neek. Yes, indeed. He was throwing hella shade at Dev. 1,000%. And wanting that bag and all that, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because the only one hungry right now to me seems to be Andy Cruz and Keyshawn at 35. You know what I'm saying? And I would say Kambosos, but Kambosos is making, he's moving up to 40. He just announced that he's going up to 40. 135 is going to be a wasteland pretty much. I mean, aside from the new talent, the new buzzing talent like Abdullah and Cruz and your Keyshawn, they're going to be the ones carrying it. But as far as Tank and Core, and the other names that we know to have ruled, that domain of 135, besides Tank and Core, everybody else is gone. They long gone in, packed up and moved to 140 and beyond. It's crazy. The great King Mike says, too many of these guys don't care for legacy. 1,000%. It's like a fad in this particular era of boxing with these young men. The King Steven says, turning down fighting for undisputed is insane. Ain't it? Ain't it? Who does that? Absolutely ridiculous to me. My sister Neek says, it's crazy because if Bud is his big homie, that's obviously chasing legacy. So Who is his real mentor? Thank you. Excellent question, beautiful sister Neek. Who is his mentor? Okay? Because Bud got legacy all over him. He's attempting to be a 3-division champ. Okay? Legacy is all over Bud Crawford. So what are you talking about? You don't even want to accomplish undisputed in a single weight division? Your bro is attempting doing it in his 3rd. He's attempting to reach a 3rd weight division in his career. You know, and he's already achieved undisputed in 2. And you haven't even done 1. Very interesting stuff, y'all. Very interesting stuff. The King Muharib says, LOL, I just watched the clip with Key and Cruz on the hit. Did you? How shady was that, Muharib? Wasn't that shady? Did you see Keyshawn's face? He looked like, oh, I don't want to touch his hand. He looked like he just wanted to turn around and run. But he, he did a half-ass, dap, some type of little tap dap. And then turn his back and try to haul off in the other direction. Meanwhile, Shakur, gives him, a full dap and daps him up and hugs him up and stuff like that. That was crazy. Seeing how petty Keyshawn was on that man. Supreme Beast Boxing. Salute to you, King. Thank you for coming. I think this is my first time seeing you in the channel. I usually see you in BF's chat. Thank you so much, King, for coming. I appreciate you. I really do. The King Uncommon says, he was low-key throwing shade at Bud too. That's crazy. What? When he threw shade at Bud? King Stephen says, Shakur saying that Loma won in the ring after Devin beat Loma made me see Shakur for whom he really is. Absolutely. Yeah, he knew he was capping, and I couldn't stand seeing that at that time. Oh, Loma won. I think Loma won. He was just so salty at Devin at that particular time. With the whole fake bottle messaging and sign the contract. That was all around that time, not too far from that time. He was on some sucker shit with that hate. God damn, he was being petty at that time. The Great King Mike says, Shakur can't be undisputed if he wants to be friends with all the hitters in or around his weight class. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I'm like, what are you doing there? You might as well go up to 140 if you're that dead set on not fighting your quote unquote brother Keyshawn. Do what the Charlos do. One be in another division, the other one go reign in the division above, if that's the case. But I think that's cap. And did you see that half-ass, fake-ass face-off that they did also last week? Standing toe-to-toe and stuff like that. And then Keyshawn winds up picking up Shakur at the end and stuff like that. It's like, they know people are interested in that fight. They know people want to see that fight because it wouldn't make sense to not have that fight, especially if Keyshawn grabs the strap off of Baron Chick. You know what I'm saying? And Shakur gets through Schofield. It's like, what the fuck is next? Nobody has any excuses. It's crazy to me that Keyshawn is fighting, Baron Chick before Tank is. That's already crazy to me. Keyshawn or Tank, Shakur or Tank should be fighting Baron Chick. Real talk. For a unification. There is absolutely no unification activity happening at 135, and it hasn't been ever since Dev did what he had to do. It's been absolutely desolate there. No activity whatsoever, no unification anywhere whatsoever. How many fucking years are they going to install out unification at the division? It's weird to me. The King PG says, facts. I hate real problems. I hate real problems with Shakur hating on Dev after the Loma fight. Facts. That was weird. Very weird. Supreme B says, I seen Shakur get played out by some young dude last night. Are you talking about, are you talking about Ernesto? Ernesto Mercado? Where he called them all types of pussies and goddamn suckers and, ooh, chow. He called his ass clean out. Real talk, I never heard nobody call Shakur out like that in real time. It was great to see. I loved it. I love that heat and energy exchange. I thought it was wonderful. I'm like, yeah, get them guns blazing. This is what this is about. Let people know that they're not on your level and that you want the smoke. Let them know. I love seeing that. Shout out to Ernesto. He was on demon time, 1000%. I was like, damn. He cursed Shakur the fuck out. I was like, okay, Ernesto, you got a fan in me. You got yourself a new fan. Jesus. I love that type of demon time. Set it up. Set it up. You know what I'm saying? Things have been way too stale. People have been too safe behind their keyboards and, making tweets in the dark like Tank Davis and, sending subliminal messages. And I'm tired of all that shit. No, Ernesto. Ernesto is on demon time and I'm signing up for it. Where do I sign my name, Ernesto? Because I'm rolling with you on that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I love it. But yes, beautiful people, I think that's all that I have to divulge today. I think that's pretty much covering, all of it. Anything else would just be an elaboration upon what we already, discussed, what was aforementioned and everything. So I think I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Unless y'all have anything else that y'all thought. Y'all want to tell me y'all thoughts on the main card last night? I think I asked that earlier, but I'm not sure if anybody, I probably missed the earlier responses about last night's complete fight card, of course, because I shared with you that I only watched the playback of the Cruz fight, which I thought was fantastic. I like Andy Cruz. I really do. He's a sharp young king. And, don't be surprised if he swoops in and takes Tank Davis's place at some particular point. Not too far from now. Okay? He's got the goods. He's very entertaining. And I wouldn't be mad, should Tank haul over and get his ass on out of here the way he says that he intends to. That 135 will still be in good hands as far as, that entertaining output with people like Cruz and Abdullah and all the young gunners on the way up. 135 has been so dead, King Daryl. Oh my God, it's been a wasteland. Absolute wasteland. It's the worst division in boxing, in my opinion. And it doesn't make sense when you have somebody who's supposedly the proclaimed face of boxing and somebody else who, is the, prestigious, understudy of Bud Crawford. How do you have these two big energies in the division and the division is goddamn dead? It's crazy to me. Ravens Nation, salute, King. Andy Cruz is 29 years old. Okay, so he's Tank's age. I didn't know he was 29 years old. I thought he was like, I guess that makes sense because Shakur's like 27, 28. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You keep forgetting that Devin is like the youngest one of them, of those three men. The King Supreme Beast says, Cruz got a bird's nest on his head. A blonde bird's nest, okay? He got a platinum bird's nest on his head, y'all. What? He done died, fried it, and laid it to the side. But whatever he was doing with that hair, it worked in that ring. That's for goddamn sure. Did you see the slugs that man was throwing? I wasn't mad at his bird's nest. It got the job done. The job got done with that damn bird's nest last night, Supreme Beast. Salute to the bird's nest. Shit. We might need to get a lot of these niggas some bird's nests on their motherfucking heads. The way they out here looking crazy. The King Darrow says, exactly, there's no reason why 135 should be this way. At all, King, at all. Hey, Mo! Oh, that's who else I forgot to wrench up. Let me wrench up my brother, Mo. Facts. Raven Nation said, yeah, he's straight from Cuba, so it makes sense. Yeah, Cuba. Beautiful fighter. I can't wait to see what else is in store for him, for sure. He looked really wonderful last night. I think boxing is in good hands as far as the 135 division with these young, young brothers coming up. So I can't wait to see, the goods. And I also can't wait to see, the, acceleration of, not the rushing, but the, propelling of Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is absolutely beautiful to me. Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see him, continue to climb and solidify his place at that division. He's of a special cloth. I really like Abdullah a lot. Lovely King Daryl says Tank had a dead cat on his Tank had a dead cat on his head a few weeks back. He sure did. He surely did. Yes, he did. Tank Davis looked like goddamn Master Splinter in real time from the Ninja Turtles last week. I hope he put some water on that shit and brought the naps back. Because that's straight motherfucking, you feel me? I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Put some water on that head. Get the naps back. Okay? Return to the naps. Okay? I need the naps. Naps is strength. The naps is brotherhood. Okay? The naps is culture. Get the naps back, please. Okay? The sassy, sissy shit, I don't do that. I don't want it. I don't do it. He said a dead cat. Oh my God. He sure did have a dead cat on his head. He had my auntie cat on his head. God damn, I was wondering where that cat went, Daryl. Thanks for reminding me. Oh shit, now I gotta tell my auntie her cat is on somebody's damn head. That's wild work. Diabolical work, Daryl. Y'all are too much. My chat is so lit. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are the bomb. You guys are the family. Thank y'all so much for riding with me on this Sunday afternoon. I don't want to keep you guys, for much longer. I know it's a big football day. Somebody let me know, hey, we got a football game happening, at 3:00 or 6:00, something like that. So definitely wanted to come on early and talk to you, the family, and connect with y'all. And I'm going to try to make this my regular thing, Saturdays or Sundays. Of course, I'll always post it in the community, which day it is that I'll be coming on. And of course, the time. Yesterday, I wanted to give you guys plenty of time. So, of course, I posted it a day in advance. The fact that I'll be going on today at 1. So I appreciate the beautiful people who showed up with me. Lovely talking to you as always. And I'm going to try to catch up with you guys, this coming weekend again live. I may put out some other content throughout the week, but for the lives, I'll definitely keep that for the weekends, of course, because throughout the weekday, I'm very, very busy. So weekends are best for me to chop it up live with y'all. And I'm glad that you guys made the time to take some time out of your beautiful day and spend with your girl. So I definitely appreciate you. And I hope you all enjoy this lovely Sunday afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy your Sunday. And I can't wait to see you again soon, y'all. Peace and blessings. I'll see you soon. Bye.